day traders, we are here with a new video, and in today's video I am going to show you guys how to analyze the charts for beginners. Okay, so this is the first video for the channel, and the channel will be all about teaching you guys how to analyze the market. So to get started for beginners, what you are going to actually do on the first clip of the channel, as I said, the content will be strictly for beginners. I'm going to teach you all about trends. Okay, I'm going to teach you about trends of the market. That's one thing that I'm going to start with. Okay, so if you want to know how to analyze in trading, you must know about trends. Okay, there's what we call a bullish trend. That's the first trend that you should know. There's what we call a bullish trend, the one that I'm drawing right now. So make sure you got your notebook close to you as I explain everything, because you will need this information later on when you get started on your trading. So we have a bullish trend. That's the first trend you have to know. And we also have something called a consolidation trend, which is basically a trend that is moving sideways. We call it a consolidation trend. Okay guys, and you can see this is how a consolidation trend moves. I'm going to explain everything quick on how it works and so forth. Okay, so we have the first trend and then the consolidation trend, and then now we also have something called a bearish trend. Okay guys, we have a bearish trend. So this is what a bearish trend looks like. Okay guys, so don't forget to take notes as I explain everything to you guys, because this won't take any time. Okay, so I'm going to explain the first trend of the three, which is our bullish trend. Okay guys, so what I'll do here is that this is what a bullish trend looks like when you analyze in your trading. Okay, in your trading view, let me actually copy this, put it up here, and then we're going to name this one a bullish trend. Okay guys, right, so right here, as you can see, we have our bullish trend and it moves to the upside. Okay guys, so what happens in a bullish trend is that, like, it comes from the lower point to the higher point, from the previous lower point to the next higher point. So what a bullish trend, what I'm trying to say, it does, like, it actually make higher highs and higher lows. Okay guys, take that in mind. Keep that in mind. It makes higher highs and higher lows. So what do I mean by higher highs and higher lows? Let me show you guys how I mean by this. So as you can see right here, we had a low, a higher low. Okay, let's just say it's a higher low because we're in a bullish trend, remember guys. So, and then up here we're going to have something called a higher high. Okay guys, so that's how it works. And then, like, so here we'll have our higher low and then our higher high, and then we have our higher highs here, and then we have another higher high up here, and then as you can see that we have another higher high this side. Okay guys, and then on lower lows, I told you that is the lower points of the bullish market. Okay, so we have one lower low right here, and then we have another higher low right here, and then here's the other higher low. So as you can see, the market actually, like, started down here. Okay guys, started on a higher low, and then it made another higher high, and then it made a higher low, which is currently lower than the previous high, in which we call it a higher low. And then we call this one a higher high because it is higher than the previous higher high and the higher low. You understand guys, which is forming a overall bullish trend. Okay, So that's what a bullish trend looks like. Whenever the market is coming from a higher low, you expect the market to make a higher high. Whenever the market is coming from a higher high, you expect it to make a higher low, and then from a higher low again to a higher high. That's the definition of a bullish trend and how it works, guys. Okay, so next one, we're moving to the consolidation trend, guys. So the consolidation trend is very easy to understand because it's something that is going up and down, but then in one direction, as in it's only consolidation, it's only consolidating, guys. Okay, it's not clearly going up or down, but then it's going up or down in one direction on a sideways operation, we can say. Understand, guys? Because as you can see right here, we have a thing called support, and then we have our resistance up here. So I'll just write something like I'll just write support right here so that you guys keep in mind. We have a support. This is our support down here, and then we have our resistance up here. Okay, so what is a support, guys? I'm going to explain that for you guys right quick before I proceed further explaining about the consolidation trend. A support is the area where the market bounces down in the it bounces up from down in the market. You understand, guys? And then a resistance is the place where the market bounces from the upside to the downside. So actually a support is something that you call a floor. Okay, it acts as a floor, and then the resistance will be acting as a ceiling. You understand, guys? When a ball is trapped in the room, a ball jumps from when you throw it down. When you first throw it down, it jumps to the upside, which is the ceiling, and then it bounces back to the support, guys, which is the floor, and then which is from when it's coming from the floor, it goes back up to the resistance, which is our ceiling. Understand, guys? So which is why we call this thing a support, because the market is actually rejecting from these points going to the upside. It's supporting the price to push to the upside. It supports price to push to the upside, and then resistance resist price to push to the downside. It resists price to push to the downside. Okay, guys, and then as you can see, this is our so-called consolidation trend, in which we have to name right here. Let me name this right here. I'll just write a name in here, consolidation. So as you can see, guys, this is our consolidation trend. So a consolidation trend actually moves up and down. Okay, guys, it comes from a resistance and then goes to support, back to the resistance, and then back to support, back to the resistance, back to the support, but overall trapped in one channel, or we can say one parallel channel, as in one passage which is going to the sideways, not up or down, not clearly up or down, but then going to the sideways. Okay, guys, so this is what we call a consolidation trend. Okay, guys, so don't forget, I just showed you something called a bullish trend, which is making higher highs and higher lows, and then I showed you guys a consolidation trend. Okay, guys, and then now we are moving on to the final trend in the markets, which is called a bearish trend. Okay, guys, so this one is the similar thing as a bullish trend, but then one thing about this one, it's going to the downside. Okay, guys, so it's not hard to actually understand. This is very easy to understand. I will show you guys how to actually trade the markets like a pro, as this is our first video, and it's all for forex beginners and everyone who's trying to learn how to trade. This will assist you to learn how to actually trade in the markets. Okay, I'm showing you guys clean basics which will make you understand trading in a better way. Okay, guys, and then here we have a bearish market. Okay, or we can say a bearish trend. Okay, guys, so that's our bearish trend. So a bearish trend is going down. Okay, guys, And what a bearish trend does is that, like, a bearish trend creates lower lows and lower highs. So what do I mean about lower lows and lower highs? So right here we have something that we call an LH, which is a lower high. This is the previous high of the bearish trend. You understand, guys? So which is why we call it a lower high, and then we call this point down here a lower low. I'll explain to you guys why we call it a lower low in just a few seconds. Let me just label this all the way to the downside so that you guys can get a clear understanding of what is going on in a bearish trend. Okay, guys? So this is our lower high, and then we have another lower low down here. We have another lower low down here, and then we have another lower high right here, and then we have our lower low, and then we have our So this is what a bearish trend looks like, guys. It makes lower highs and lower lows. So what do I mean by lower highs and lower lows, guys? What I mean by lower highs and lower lows is that the market makes a lower high, which is a high that is lower than the previous market. I will explain right now, okay, guys? So as you can see, the market made a lower high right here. It made a lower low, and then it made another lower high and a lower low. So as you can see, why do we call this a lower low? It's because the market is currently coming from a lower high in which it had to go a bit lower, which is why we call this point a lower low, because it went a bit lower than the previous lower high. And then we call this a lower high because it went a bit higher than the previous lower low. And then we call this another lower low because, like, it went more deeper and then made another lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So this is what a bearish trend looks like, guys. It makes lower highs and lower lows. So lower high is where the market is currently coming from. A lower high, as in it's coming from a lower high. You understand? Meaning we are going to be looking for sales in these market conditions, because in these market conditions you can clearly see that the trend is going to the downside. You don't look for sales in a you don't look for buys in a bearish trend. You only look for sales in a bearish trend. And then in a consolidation trend, it's not advisable to trade, because what the market is actually doing or stating at this point is that it's currently stayed at stuck at consolidation, and it's currently, like, it's doing something like it's actually doing refreshing before it can be able to get a clear break to the upside. So let's say you are around a consolidation trend and you want to take a trade. Okay, guys, I don't advise that you guys just trading while it's still in the trend. So what you will wait for, you will rather wait for seeing a breakout and a retest and a continuation to the upside. If not a breakout and retest to the upside, then you're going to see something like a breakout to the downside and then a retest from the previous support to the downside. And then that's when you can decide that you are going to trade either at this bottom right here, when the market have broke out of the consolidation trend, or you're going to take your buy above when it's clearly broken up above to the upside, to indicate that you are now looking for buys. Okay, meaning you're no longer trapped in your consolidation. Okay, guys, so you don't trade when the market is inside the consolidation. Make sure you write that down and you always remember. when the market is in this state and it's going sideways, you can't just decide that the market is going up or down, because like it will just crash your account, guys. You don't want to do that, trust me. So you want to actually wait for a clear break and retest, and then take a trade to the up or downside. And then when it comes to a bullish trend, you don't look for sells in a bullish trend, okay guys? So just because the market will be going down at this point from the higher high to make a higher low doesn't mean that you should sell this point, because it will be stupid to do so. You can't be aiming for such a small move when we can hold a long move on an overall bullish trend. I hope you understand what I'm saying, guys. Like, you have to actually catch your trade at a higher low, which is going to be longer and more profits compared to the trade that you took on a higher high, aiming for a higher low. You understand, guys? So you don't trade like that. In a bullish trend, you actually wait for the market to make a higher low, and then you take your trade at the previous higher low to the next higher high. So as you can see, you can always keep that lower low down here and catch the trend from the start till finish. You understand, guys? Which is going to be off a much bigger return than what you will be aiming on when you're actually looking for sales in this specific trend. You understand, guys? Because at this point it's going up and up and up and up and up, and it's going to finally hit your take profit, which is up here. And then let's say you took a sell which is so small and they're expecting to make money from this sell. This sell is more dangerous because like it's not advisable, guys. Like, imagine aiming for something so small when you can aim for such a big move on an overall trend. So you understand the importance of understanding trends, guys. You can't be trading at higher highs, taking buys at higher highs instead of taking buys at higher lows. Okay, guys. So same applies when it comes to the other side here, to the bearish trend. Okay, guys. You actually opened the dictionary by mistake. So same thing uh that happens when you go to your, I don't know why the dictionary is busy opening, guys, but then I'll get to the bottom of this. Let me just fix it. So as I was saying, same thing when you come to our bearish trend. Okay, guys, you can't be looking for your buys on a bearish trend. You have to be looking for sells on a bearish trend. I don't know why this thing is opening the dictionary. I think I mistakenly opened the dictionary. Okay, guys, but then like that should be a small thing. Let me fix it right now. So on a bearish trend, we should be looking for sells, not buys. Let me show you something. Again, like just like an example that I showed you on the previous side of a bullish trend, we're showing you the same thing on a bearish trend of how it goes and how you trade on a bearish trend. Okay, guys, so you don't look for buys on a bearish trend, because if you look for something this small, you are actually risking more than the one who's selling on this bearish trend. You understand, guys? Because the market might not possibly really retrace to make that big lower high that you expect, and then it dumps to the downside. You can't just trade this move. You understand? This move is just too small to target, but then you guys have to actually wait for the market to come back to create something called a lower high, and then you aim for a lower low, just like how I showed you guys with the other side of the bullish trend. Okay, guys, you aim for a lower high, for a lower low, I mean, and then you aim to kill the markets while going to the downside, not actually going to the upside, because you can't take buys on this specific trend. This trend is going down. So if you have any questions about what I taught you today, just make sure you hit me up right now, or you just leave your questions in the comments. Okay, guys, leave your questions in the comments, and then I'll take care of you. I will assist you with everything that you need. Okay, guys, comment what you need help on and how you want me to assist you in the markets. I give help for free. You don't have to pay for anything, unless if you want to pay for one-on-one mentorship. I do one-on-one mentorship for 200 Rand per session. Okay, guys, for 200 Rand per 1 hour session. So if you want like 5 hours, you're going to have to pay 1000 Rand for the session. So it's very simple to get started with me, and this is everything that I'm going to show you guys for today's video, which is the 3 types of the trends in the market. And then I showed you guys the trends. We see one was we have our bullish trend, and then as you can see we have something called our consolidation trend right here, in which I explained that the market is actually going sideways, and you don't trade this one unless if you get a breakout to the upside or downside. And then lastly, we have our bearish trend, which is clearly going to the downside, and you don't look for buys on this one because buys are short, and then you only look for long selling positions. So we have one or two, and the third trend, which is the bullish trend. Okay guys, so don't forget that you always keep that in mind, that there's only 3 types of trends in the market. Okay, and know how to take trades on these trends. You don't take this short trade. Remember that you only wait for long trades on a bullish trend. Never forget that. Okay guys, a lot of guys are actually doing the same mistakes over and over again for years, which is not a good thing. So you gotta master that type of problem when you're still in your learning stage. Okay guys, so just make sure that if you want more valuable information or education from your trading, just make sure you hit me up. Like, I have a Telegram channel which you can join down below. You can just click the link, join our Telegram. You will get free signals every day, and then also tips on how the market is doing and some chart breakdowns. Okay guys, so more content will be still coming for everyone who's still beginning and trading. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget on how to actually do this guys, like backtest, try this on real charts, and then like you're going to get good results. So what I'll do on the next video is that I will actually analyze the markets for you guys. I will do these things on a real chart example, not the lines that I drew like this side. I'll actually do this on the real chart and show you what I'm trying to explain on this video for you on the next video. So if there is not clearly something that I stated in this video, just make sure you comment it down below. Let me know what I didn't state for you guys. Let me know what you guys need to know. Let me know what you guys need to see next. But then I'm going to be dropping a video on how to actually do this on a real chart guys. Okay, because this was a video on how you can actually understand trading as a beginner using the lines that I just drew on the market. Okay guys, so make sure that like you subscribe for more videos, leave a like, turn on notifications to never miss an upload, and I'll see you on the next video.